All right, hello everyone. My name is Peter. The video is sponsored by Squarespace, and I have a couple of things to look at here. This is something I picked up quite a while ago on my adventures in New York in the middle of December of last year, and I just recently found this bag in a pile of things while I was cleaning. I forgot I bought it, okay? That's probably a bad sign. But as you can see, I found a Moleskine store in New York. Of course, I was wandering around waiting for my tour of the Rockefeller Center to start, where I had been told that if you go to the top, you get a good view of the rest of the city instead of going up to the top of, like, the Empire State Building or something. If you go to the top of this building, you can see the Empire State Building in the skyline of the rest of the city. Anyways, I went to the Moleskine store, and of course I got a Moleskine sketchbook, which I will keep wrapped up for now because I have a lot of these already, but you can't have too many. We'll go over here somewhere and wait for future lines to be put in it. And then I also got this. I saw it there. Two of my favorite brands collabing. Moleskine times Kaweco equals me buying it, I guess. I am skeptical now if this was worth it, though, because I don't remember I don't have the receipt. I don't know how much I spent on it. But I think online this pack is $115. But let's look and see what's inside of it. Little sleeve here. Nice typical Kaweco metal tin. It says Germany, made in China though, kawecopen.com. And then inside, I've actually already opened this and put ink in this pen, by the way. Spoiler, a little pamphlet, Kaweco and Moleskine. Nice. And then here's a little sleeve, I guess. Look, when do these sleeves get used? I don't really get it. You put the pen in the sleeve, right? I get that. The pen goes in the sleeve. And then what? Then you throw this in your bag or something? Like, this is not good for putting in a pocket because the sleeve, it's like a felt, or it's like suede on pocket material. Just gets stuck. Okay, is this supposed to be for putting maybe in with all your other pens, or? And it's not like, this is just like, look, these are $17 pens. They're made of like very cheap plastic. This is not the most incredible thing ever. It's not. They're not going to get like scratched or dented. Am I thinking about it too hard or not enough? I don't know. Anyways, so sleeve I probably won't use, but as you can see here, maybe I'm opening upside down. They do say, I do like these pens because they say Moleskine. These are my first pens that say Moleskine on them. And ex Kaweco. Most of them don't say ex Kaweco on them. They just say Kaweco. Nice black with gold highlights. Comes with a ballpoint pen, which could be nice. And then, of course, a fountain pen, which I've already put ink in. Now, the interesting thing about this Kaweco pen, this fountain pen, is usually these Kaweco pens don't come with piston converters. But this one came with a piston converter in this little slot right here. These two little cartridges were in the pen body here, and I took them out, already inked up the piston, and put it in there, and the pen works. Now look, here's where I'm a little skeptical about this whole pack, all right? These pens, this is pretty much identical to this pen here, which I bought a long time ago. This is the Kaweco Perkeo. Perkeo? I don't know how to say it. But this is a $17 pen and is pretty much identical, right? Except one of them is a collab. So maybe it's rare. Is that what's driving the price up? $17 times 2, $34. And then you got some extra ink cartridges, 6 ink cartridges, 7 ink cartridges, an empty one, a bottle of Moleskine X Kaweco Pearl Black ink, which I very hesitantly put into the pen because I really wanted to put my other preferred platinum black carbon ink in there. But I thought, hey, since I'm using this pen, I might as well use the ink that came with it. Is it the tin that's so expensive? You can buy a pack of 6 ink cartridges for $3, plus another couple, let's say it's another 50 cents or something, so that leaves us another $77.50 to account for, and all that's left is ink, a sleeve, a tin, and another piece of cardboard, and a pamphlet. One of these is really expensive. Is this the elixir of life? No, I'm past my ink drinking days. Too many people sent me emails about how it gives me cancer and how I'm going to encourage my viewers to get cancer. I'm sorry. I did enjoy those days, but anyways, so I'm just telling you my skepticism about the pricing. Obviously, maybe they're just like, hey, it's a cool little collab. You can only get it right now. Maybe it's just that, like the rarity, right? It happens sometimes with pens. People spend a lot on pens. It happens. I mean, I am doing it. I'm contributing to it. So anyways, I'm just asking questions, okay? All right, let's use the pen, see how it works. Put all this back in here. This is the medium nib. Moleskine X Kaweco. Almost drew the K wrong, or I did, but wait a second. Is it a K or a C? How do you spell Kaweco? Ah, it's a C. Anyways, who cares? That's why I'm an artist, not a professional speller. The point is, it looks pretty good. This is the Kaweco ink or Moleskine ink. Who knows whose ink it is? Neither of them take full responsibility for any of it because it's a collab. It's a crossover. As you can see, works pretty good. So let's get to drawing. All right, we're going to test out our ballpoint pen for our Squarespace doodle. And you should go test out Squarespace. It's a great all-in-one platform for building your business, your brand, or even anything personal you're working on. One cool feature they have is these members-only areas you can set up on your website if you want to work on monetizing your content and your expertise. Also, they have online stores. The e-commerce features of Squarespace are very easy to set up, as well as all the portfolio and gallery features, which you can set up and tweak exactly how you want it, and then sync them with your social media so that as soon as you post on your website, it also gets posted on social media so that all your followers can share it. It works great. All right, so go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and then when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/PeterDraws for 10% off your first website or domain. Now, as we get into the drawing here, I must admit the pen works good, but I still think it's just a normal $17 Kaweco Perkeo. I think I'm going to say Perkeo. It sounds a little more fun to say. I do notice there's a difference. The Kaweco Perkeo that I had before had a black nib. This one has a gold nib, which could account for some of the discrepancy between the pricing that I couldn't figure out earlier. But I'm still a little bit hesitant because, it is fairly common for pen manufacturers to do significant markups for different different materials that nibs are made out of. But I don't know if it's always worth it because not too long ago I did a review of some of the different, I don't know if they were called Premier, some of the high-end nibs that Kaweco had to offer that are made of gold. This one apparently is gold. I just don't know if it's worth it. You can buy these individual Kaweco X Moleskine pens. Comes with a converter, and they call it genuine leather pouch. It It didn't seem, I don't know what that even means. Genuine Italian leather, I think it even said. I'm skeptical of that. And they're $55. So two of them together would be $110, which would leave, still doesn't make sense, because then that would just leave $5 for the ink and the cartridges and the tin. Maybe that does make sense. I don't know. Anyways, look, they even sell like 14 karat gold nibs, just the nibs. Kaweco sells these for like $160. So I mean, if you want to spend a lot on the nibs, you can. But I don't know, sometimes it just doesn't make that much of a discernible difference. It's, look, you really just got to choose your battles. Sometimes you get so far into the fountain pen hobby that you can tell the difference. And you do want to start putting a little bit more money into the nicer nibs. But then sometimes it's, a $5, $10, $15 pen with the nib that goes with that is just as enjoyable, works just as well. So I'm not saying one way is right, or you just, it's up to each person, obviously. If that goes without saying, but okay, a little bit about me. Pretty much the main thing that's going on in my life right now, occupying most of my mental space and power, besides the usual, like waking up, going to sleep, eating, peeing and pooping, going to school every day, stuff like that. Besides the regular, is I tried to get a cat. Okay, I did. Look, I like cats. I used to have them, and well, it went okay in the sense that I have a cat right now. It's asleep in the other room. But I think I'm realizing that I like the idea of having a cat more than actually having a cat. There's just a lot of downsides. Or maybe I just need an older cat. This cat is 8 months old. Its name, when it was given to me, is Cheeto, because apparently it was at the shelter and kept on trying to get a Cheeto from someone who was eating them. And it's lovely. It loves being petted, almost aggressively tries to get petted. Like he'll push his head into my hand, like it needs to be petted, almost at a primal level, more than it needs food and water, right? But the problem is, it needs this all night. And then it sleeps all day after keeping me awake all night. And it will meow. Cheeto will meow all night, even though it doesn't need anything. I give Cheeto a wonderful little litter box tucked away in a closet. And then there's a wonderful little self-filtering water bowl. I gave him wonderful, Friskies whitefish and tuna shreds food. I gave him like 2 different cat beds, 2 or 3 different scratching spots with little toys, like everything a cat could want. I don't know what else to give him. Little spots to hide away if he feels anxious. But he needs to be petted. And apparently, while I'm trying to sleep, and I don't like it. Okay, look, I'm not afraid to say it, but I value my own happiness a little bit more than this cat's and my own well-being, because I really like having a good night's sleep. That's all. I really like it. Right now it's being messed up. I know, look, there's probably a good chance that this stage could go away. Like maybe our sleep schedules could sync up eventually, but there are other problems too. Like, I don't know. I can smell it every time he poops or pees, and even in the litter box, I can smell it in the whole house. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to being the only one that poops and pees in this house. I'm like, wait a second. There's another scent of poop and pee. Who is that? And then whenever I put food out, that smell fills up the whole house. I'm going to have to take him back is all I'm saying. It's sad. But look, I am not afraid to try things, and if they don't work out, go back. The cat will be okay. The cat is going to be okay. It's fine. It's a wonderful cat. I'm glad I had a few days with him. That's all. That's all that's in my mind right now. And Like, even though I gave him scratching posts everywhere, this cat's claws, maybe it's because the cat is young, or maybe it's because it's anxious or something. I even put little calming pheromone scents around that you plug into the wall, and maybe those are a scam. Maybe they don't work. Maybe they're actually antagonizing him or something. It could have been a scam. I put these into the wall, and they're supposed to fill up a room and calm down cats or something. But everywhere he walks, his little claws latch in, and when cats knead, they do the kneading thing where it looks like they're kneading bread. He does that, but with his claws out. And he, even though he uses a scratching post, and I think that's usually what people say, like, how do I get the cat to not scratch my furniture or whatever? The answer is usually give them other really good places to scratch on. But I do that, and he scratches those places, but he also scratches everywhere else. Like my bed frame is upholstered, and he scratches that, and he scratches all of my sheets, and my pillow, and my shirts, and everything. Okay? And I guess I'm being a little bit defensive here because I feel like some people might say, but Peter, you just, you'll learn to, y'all learn to get along, you'll learn to love each other, it'll get better. And I just don't feel like that's my responsibility. If I don't like it, I'm going to stop. I'm at that point where I don't want to put up with a bunch of suffering for a cat that I've only known for 2 days. Okay? I'll go back, and someone that loves him more will hopefully adopt him because he's adorable. Anyways, that's what's in my mind right now. That's why I have a headache right now, because I haven't been sleeping good, okay? I just want to sleep good. And he chewed through one of my cables in the middle of the night, and he turns on my projector by stepping on it in the middle of the night. And yes. All right. I love him, but I'm just not going to put up with it. That's all. I feel like I'm a terrible person for not putting up with it. I feel like I'm very conflicted if you can't tell. But I've made up my choice. I choose the path that is stress-free and, unfortunately, cat-free. It's going to be okay. Maybe in the future I'll think about it again. I feel like in a couple of years I'll be like, it wasn't that bad. And I'll justify it, but hopefully maybe then I'll get a cat that no one else wants because it's at the shelter and they all want kittens, and I'll get like a cat that's like 3 or 4 or 6 years old and really old and just sits around purring all day and doesn't claw and jump and zoom around. Anyways. Tell me what you think. Also tell me what you think I should have named him, because I was going to rename him something besides Cheeto, but also, here's another controversial take, maybe. Why do cats need names? If it's the only cat in the house, you can just be like, hey, and then who else are you talking to? You don't need to name the cat. If there's only you and the cat doesn't have a name for me. If the cat meows, I know the cat's talking to me. I don't need a name for the cat doesn't need a name for me. Anyways, so the only reason I would want to name the cat is because I don't want the conversation every time. Like, what's the cat's name? I'm like, oh, it doesn't have a name. And then there's the some people just can't handle that, I think, and they won't be able to. I don't want to have that conversation every time. Although I could phrase it like, oh, I haven't thought of a name yet, or I haven't named him yet. But then people might start suggesting names every time. I'm okay with suggesting names right now since it's at the very beginning, and I might hear one I really like. And sometimes every time I'm talking about the cat to someone or thinking a thought about the cat, I'm like, oh, and then I try substituting different names for him in my head. So far, nothing has really clicked. That's all. And like I said, I don't think there's really a point in giving a cat a name if there's only one of them. Anyways, it's all pointless because I'm taking him back. I'm sorry, okay? I know it's kind of an emotional roller coaster to tell you all about a cat I got that I'm not going to keep. I don't think. I'm like 85% sure I'm going to take him back. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I take it back. I'm not sorry. All right, goodbye. Love you. Follow, subscribe.